Today is the 27th, I believe, of June. I went to the anger management class. So one person got his motorcycle back. The movie Tough Guys, the movie Unforgivable, and the movie Unforgiven. One of them has a passive person played by the actor Clint Eastwood. And Tough Geese or Guys, Guise, is something like a documentary about the Columbine shootings, the high school shootings, the violence. Here it says, why is it that the majority of violence involves males? All right. Last week we talked about a theocracy, which is a culture and a religion as a form of government, and that people are treated differently based on their sex, whether they're male or female. So the movie we saw was Tough Geese or Tough Guys, Guise. We only saw a part of it. It was a $450 movie 10 years ago. It was a documentary about violence. The teacher mentioned that the rite of passage used to be the first fight that a male child had at the playground. Most violence is a man against another man. Now here we go about the movie. It showed photos of women that were beaten, and there was music playing, but I didn't like the music, and I didn't like the graphic photos of the women that were beaten. So I had to look away. I chose to look away. I didn't want to see the faces of women that were beaten. The teacher mentioned his arm was hanging, that when he was a little boy, his arm was hanging by soft tissue, and his dad said, "Men don't cry." It's the way some people are brought up. And then they showed us the movie clip from The Wizard of Oz. "I'm a very good man, but a bad wizard." The next thing, only show your masculine side. A girly boy is called by names of a sissy, mama's boy, and this is true for every social or ethnic background. And a manly boy uses the adjectives strong. Well, they had more adjectives, but I had to keep taking notes here. I choose to take notes. The blacks, the Hispanics, and the Asians. The blacks are shown on the media as criminals, the Hispanics as boxers, the Asians as martial artists. 85% of violence with a gun is done by men. 95% of people convicted of rape and that are in prison were done by men. Well, how would a woman rape a man? Perhaps a child. All right. Male trauma. Men have many problems. They were abused as kids. The guy on TV, on the movie, says he's an anti-violence educator. But that men have a tough guy posture or act in order to survive. Popular culture, like toy soldiers, G.I. Joe, they show toys with big muscles. There was a movie clip about an Indian on riding a bus, and his friend, another Indian. These are native people, Cherokee, something like that, right? Told his friend, "Be stoic, look like a warrior, wipe that grin off your face." And white suburban males are acting like black ghetto. In the movie The Godfather, the tough Italian mafia males are influencing the black males. The black people were asked, where did they learn to be tough? And they learned it from the movie The Godfather. It's an ability to scare people. Some people say, oh, if you're a man, you have to be able to scare another man. In the trench coat mafia, these were high school boys that were not strong physically, but they had guns. Another one of them said, murder is gutsy and daring. I did it because kids like me get mistreated every day. School shootings. 15 kids are shot per day while they're in school. Every day in the United States. My thought was, my wife should be watching this, right?
Oh, and good evening, Daniel.
Why, hello, that is very polite of you. Good evening to you too, sir. Thank you. Normal looking males do the violence, not pathological Freddy Krueger or Jason with a mask. They look normal. To be a man, or your manhood, is to be powerful and power and violence. That's a manhood. Guns and men. Sports. Hockey fights, pro wrestling, music, they show violence. Some of the young people on the TV, on the movie, were showing off. They mentioned the words, "Showing off a gun ends conversations and arguments." Violent, controlling, and intimidating. That's a man. And in some movies, the slasher films, sexualized violence. They sexualize it by showing a beautiful girl in a posture, in a camera angle for sex, and then the bad man attacks her. Pornography shows degradation of women. Power, control, and violence. Howard Stern reinforces stereotypes that women are bimbos, and he puts down women. High school boys are acting out, are controlling their girlfriends. Real men like John Wayne, Rambo, they show individualistic, alone, strong, and the truth is we all are interdependent. We need a sense of connection. We're not like the Marlboro Man, alone, with rocks in the background and a hot sun. Women have an easier time connecting. Men, there's a book called I Don't Want to Talk About It. Whereas women are permitted to have a therapist so they could talk. Men use alcohol. More men drive recklessly than women do. Men usually don't back down, and then one of them dies. Showing your vulnerability or compassion and caring should be a part of being a man. And the last thing is, most men labeling. What is it like to be a man? Well, what's happening, in my opinion, is that what my friend said, men are being socialized to be more feminine. But then women are actually being taught to be more masculine. That's a theory. How do you prove these things? All right, those were my notes for this weekend. I believe that men should be loving and they should be able to protect their family. Now, if a man gets so angry with living with a woman or with children or whichever way, because men don't talk to each other in the way that men and women talk, as far as like arguments. Perhaps the best way is for people to live alone and just visit each other for sex. What do you think? What should be the best way for imperfect people to, men and women, to get along? The Bible says women should be submissive. If you have a submissive wife, then you should be able to achieve success in this world. You should be able to provide for your family easily if your wife is submissive. She'll say, oh, okay, you want to buy a pickup truck instead of the minivan. Okay, let's do that then. She will help you.